Hey guys, welcome to episode 3, the inch kit that will go the mile. Today's video, we're going to entitle this, The True Mobile Home. That's right. In the event of SHTF, and you've made the cognitive choice to go out on the front line and defend Lady Liberty. Why? Because you've got a FNX Tactical 45 ACP with a Trijicon RMR, and maybe somewhere there is a suppressor in the kit somewhere. Maybe, I don't know. I'm sporting my Kanani chest rig today as we talk about the 6 keys of survival in establishing an inch kit. You're going to lean heavily. Let me go over those real quick, and I'll throw these up on the screen in case you have forgotten. Got to keep that mind sharp, don't we? Self-defense, shelter, survival clothing, sustainability, sanitation, and solace. Those are the 6 keys to survival as I have articulated them on the Survival Lust experiment. And I want you to go check the links in this video today, because I will be attaching the bug out bag or inch kit checklist. Once again, I've made a couple of modifications to it, but within that checklist, as well as the backpack loadout master calculator, I break down all the 6 keys. And maybe one of the things that I failed to mention in episode 2 is that this backpack calculator gives you the specific percentages of what you should be carrying in each one of those categories. So you may be too top heavy. And as I have examined people's bug out bags in the past, and they're wondering why their bag's so heavy, it's because they're not allocating the proper percentage point for each one of those 6 keys. So you need to look at that loadout master calculator, and it'll give you those percentages based upon your physicality and your weight. It's all science. It's science, guys. The real science. Somebody once asked me in a conversation while we were having a imported brew, they said, Survival Lust, do you think you could make it on your own if you had to bug out? I answered the affirmative, not because I am overly confident, but because the very first time I ever bugged out, I was 13 years old. Yeah, my dad, who I have dubbed the Great Santini, if you've never saw that movie with Robert Duvall, that movie was made off of the life story of my dad. That was my dad. No, I'm kidding, but that's literally how I was raised. Exactly, to the T. And I have a hard time watching that movie to this day because it still kind of gives me a little bit of mental disturbance. Thank God I have forgiven him for all of the crazy crap he did to me as a kid. But one time he put me on restrictions for kissing a girl. He did. At 13 years old, come on, you're 13. I kissed a girl. They caught me. I was on the back porch. They caught me kissing the girl. My dad, the Great Santini, put me on restrictions for 3 months in my bedroom. I was not allowed to leave my bedroom for 3 months. After about 2 weeks, and this was all during summer, after about 2 weeks, I bugged out. I tied my bed sheets together, threw them out the window, and I escaped Alcatraz. I sure did. And I ran away from home at 13 years old. I didn't take anything with me. I didn't have a bug out bag. We're going to break down the contents of this bag today. We're going to talk about alternatives too in survival clothing, because we hit on that in episode 1. So I made it to my friend's house. We were living on a Navy base up in Massachusetts. And I made it to my friend's house. Now, mind you, my dad already put out an APB on me. He called the military police, and they were all out on the base looking for me. So I had to hide out in my best friend's backyard in his shed, his little lawnmower shed, you know, those little metal sheds you buy at Sears. You put them together. That was my shelter. And he would sneak out at night after dinner, and he would bring me leftovers, whether it be a piece of bread or a small piece of pork chop or something, and he would bring me water. And his mom was the one that busted me. She's the one that figured out my best friend was bringing food to me in my little bug out location. The second time I bugged out, they actually threw me out at 15 years old. 15 years old, I was thrown out of my house for something so simple. But because we had so much pride in our life, and I wasn't a Christian at the time, I was tired. I was just absolutely tired of the great Santini, and I said, fine. So he threw my rucksack out on the front lawn, and I didn't pack it, he did. Thank God he had enough stuff in there. And yeah, at 15 years old, I moved out of my home, and I've been bugging out ever since. In episode 1, we talked about the importance of survival clothing, and as we deal with the percentage values of building your SHTF kit, the 6 keys of survival, in your immediate bug out bag, if you're not running a dual support system like myself, I'm running 2 bags, as well as a recce loadout. And in subsequent videos, we're going to be featuring the recce loadout, the sniper suit, as well as the tech bag. And that tech bag is more than just electronics. It's a sustainment system. It is very dependent on that key in survival. That sustainability must be featured. You have to have stuff in your bag that will allow you that when your friend runs out of bringing you food in the little metal shed, you got to figure out how you're going to do it all by yourself. And so I reflect on that experience going, man, had I not been smelling lawnmower fuel and laying down in there with the smell of fresh cut glass, trying to get comfortable next to the weed eater and the lawnmower, I probably could have made it a very long time. I made it 3 days. I sure did. I had to go outside of the shelter at night to go to the bathroom. And yeah, they had the MPs and the base all running patrols and the Jeeps looking for me. It was funny. I mean, we all laughed about it years later, but in sustainment, in bugging out, you have to be able to recreate, and you have to be able to not only live off of this attitude that it's no longer consumption based, it's independence. It's what can I do to sustain myself. And so that's the reason why that tech bag is going to have its own video, maybe episode 5 or 6 or 7, I'm not quite sure. I've got a lot of the videos already done. We're in episode 3 right now. But in episode 1, we talked about survival clothing, and maybe some of you guys don't have the disposable income right now because we did feature some budget items in episode 2. But I want you to understand that the Army Navy surplus stores are a great place to start. This is a UPC universal pattern, but it's not. This is your average M65 field coat with the winter lining. And I took RIT apple green dye. You can buy it on Amazon or Walmart or wherever you shop. It's called RIT, R-I-T, apple green, with some vinegar in a 5-gallon bucket. And you mix that solution up, and I think it takes about an hour to do this. And look at the pattern. Look what it did to that digital camo, which is the worst camo in the world unless you're standing on top of an aircraft carrier. Then maybe I get it. I mean, I think it works for a naval application, but in vegetation, that digital camo does not work. It just doesn't. And I'm glad the Army got rid of it. But if you have those coats, because these Army Navy surplus stores, they can't get rid of that. Everybody hates that stuff. Buy it. It's cheap. And then get you some RIT. It'll cost you about $18, I think, if memory serves me. Maybe a little less than that, maybe 15, to dye it. And it doesn't smell. Of course, I did this one about 2 years ago. This is an excellent competitive option, male or female. Absolutely. Mil-spec, guys. Mil-spec. So as we talk about building the Ench bag, not just the system, we're going to take more of a micro look today at the bag. I'm going to show you all the features. Sadly guys, this bag is out of stock on Kelty's website. And I think I've said this before, that when you're on a website, oftentimes right before you're ready to mouse over and click off, a little pop-up will come up, and if you enter your email address, a lot of times they'll give you a 10 or 15% discount. So for you guys that aren't internet savvy and you're buying stuff online, everybody does that. It's a little bitty trick to go, hey, don't go yet, I'll give you a discount. So set up one junk email address. I've got one garbage email address. I don't even check it unless they give me a code, a coupon code. But that's what I use that junk email address for. And I think Kelty will too. I know Falkraven will. And so won't Eno. They all give you a 10 or 15% discount. This bag sells for $4.69. It's out of stock. It's still in production. I would absolutely try to get my hands on it either at eBay, or maybe some of your local stores might have it, REI. Some of these outfitting stores may have it. This is a mil-spec bag, all right? If you don't have time to wait on the Kelty Eagle, then like I said in episode 2, I would strongly look at the Falkraven Kachka 85. And I misspoke in the hyperlink when I said that Mountain Dew's bag was the 75. Hers is the 65. And it's perfect for her. Because remember, our tech support bag, my large supplemental 85 liter bag, is carrying a lot of stuff that will sustain both of us. Predominantly her 65 liter bag, and if you guys are interested, if we have ladies on the show that are interested in looking at Mountain Dew's inch kit, remember that it is a survival system that is built in addition to my sustainment system. So it is going to be weaker on a lot of things just so that I could maintain that 36-pound loadout for her. But she's going to be carrying an AR. All right? She's carrying an AR. I'm carrying a 45. That's what we're carrying to begin with. So I feel more than confident that we both don't need to have long guns. She can carry her light AR that weighs 7 pounds, 8 pounds, I think. And then I'm carrying the 45. All right? So, but if you girls are interested in looking at Mountain Dew's inch kit, I'll be more than happy to do a video to this series and show you her supplemental. I probably will show the supplemental bag. That is the Direct Action Ghost. But let me give you some alternatives right now for those of you that don't want to wait on the Kelty Eagle. I would look at Eberlestock, the Destroyer, or the Battleship. Very massive bags, built to the same specs, about the same price point. I probably would stay away from QE simply because those are more for game hunting, big game hunting, and yeah, while they are capable of handling a lot of weight, I haven't been convinced in my mind yet that the materials that they're using are going to be as durable as the Kelty or the Eberlestock. Now, in defense of my speculation, I've never had one. I've never put one in my hand. I've never felt a QE bag. Do I believe in their quality? Do I believe in their products? Yes, I do. But from my own reservation, while I think they're excellent, that would be my biggest concern right now. Guys, your bag has to be in the mindset that it's got to handle the extreme conditions. When you're through hiking and you're just going out on a backpacking trip, maybe it's 5 days, maybe you are putting in a canoe. Do you know how easy it is to take your bag when it's heavy and not be able to pick it up properly and maybe catch it on something, a sharp rock or something in your boat, a stick, a branch, and then shred your bag? Or maybe it falls down a mountain and it's just tumbling, 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 tumbling. The torture test. That's what your bag has to be able to do. And that's the reason why I advocated that your backpack on a minimum needs to come into that 8, 9, 10 pound. This one is 11 pounds with the side compartments. There's 2 side compartments as well as the fanny pack duffel bag. So this comes in at 11 pounds, but without the 2 side pouches and the fanny pack, I want to say it comes in right around 9 pounds. And it is made with 1000 and 500D nylon. And a lot of these other backpacks are not. They're 70D. 70D ripstock, 300D ripstock. I'm sorry, it's not strong enough. It's just not strong enough. So don't waste your money on those $200 backpacks. They're not going to work. All right? This is your mobile home. Okay? How many of you guys would feel comfortable in a tornado in a mobile home? I wouldn't. I wouldn't. Now, I have lived in mobile homes before, but that's the reason why I didn't buy an RV. I built a tank. This thing's made out of steel, and it's an armadillo. It is. It can roll down a mountain, and it's going to be fine. Now, it does have some dents in it. I think the person who used to own the bus went under a low-hanging overhang at a gas station, but I don't care. All right, guys, we're going to break down this bag. I'm going to throw up some slides right now on the features and the specs of this bag because I don't want to overwhelm you. I've got to keep this video within the time frame. I don't want to overwhelm you with too much information, so please stop the video or go check out their website and analyze that information for yourself. But the features, there's got to be 100 of them. I'm going to mention a few of them and show you how I've got this loaded out, and then we're going to talk about proper loadout in the things that I have sort of capitulated on out of the 6 keys. I'm very heavy on shelter. Very heavy on shelter, and I'm very heavy on survival clothing. And moderate on self-defense. Yes, I do have a couple knives, but I have a lot of weight, and when I say heavy, I'm not talking quantity. I'm literally talking heavy. The weight, if you were to take and break down the 6 keys of your bag and weigh them all individually, you would come up with a percentage of your total loadout. And that is where I want you to focus your attention on in building your ENCH system, is looking at those percentage points as to where you're focused on. Because the higher your percentage points means, this is what it means, the weaker your skill set. However, with sustainment and shelter making and survival clothing, it needs to be real heavy. Self-defense, maybe 3 pounds. I think I allocate 3 pounds in self-defense. That's what you get. Hygiene, I don't even think I'm giving you 2 pounds if you look at that backpack loadout calculator. Solace, I'm giving you 1 pound. The bulk of your system is in shelter and sanitation, or excuse me, sustainability and your survival clothing. That's the bulk of your bag and your system. And we're going to talk about some of the proper materials in selecting and how to load that bag. So let me shift the camera over here and get set up and show you how I've got it outfitted right now, both from the front as well as the sides. We're kind of do a little 360 overview. All right. So on the cummerbund, I have my Nalgene bottle right here. I don't like a water bladder on a big bag like this. I don't have room. I don't have room to put 3 liters of water in my bag. So I would rather have a Nalgene bottle on the side. And yes, I do have my Berkey black sports bottle as an addendum. But I like drinking out of this bottle. And then if I'm walking by a creek real quick and I'm getting low, and I put an anti-condensation bag over this bottle if the water's real cold. We got Mountain Springs here, and so this is going to prevent this pouch from getting wet from condensation, so I like having that. But in the bottom, I've just got me some water purification tabs from Potable Aqua. One is to make it taste better, and the other one is to actually purify the water. This is a 30-minute process. All right, so I just chuck those down in the bottom. And I don't recommend drinking out of a mountain stream unless you know the water, but anything can happen. And I'm very careful of that, but I can tell you I would prefer to boil it, and that is in my sustainment system. But in an extreme situation, if I just need to wet my mouth, I would in small doses. If you look at my 6 keys to survival, I talk about how to procure water and food sources, whether it be vegetation, that kind of stuff, and how to test that stuff to see for, you know, the toxic levels in it. And that's a really cool video. You need to go watch that. I'll put a card up for that one. I don't think that video's gotten much viewership. But if you've got your herb book, if you've got your herb book or your wild mushroom book, there's a way to test that stuff. Super cool video. On this side right here, I've got 2 spare magazines. So each one of these are 10 rounds. I've got a 15 round, so I'm carrying 25 rounds. That's it. 25 rounds in self-defense. I got 2 figure 9s carabiners, and this is going to be helpful for me in establishing not only putting my bag up off the ground or building my ridge line for my shelter. I love this feature right here. It's got 2 nice grab handles. This torso pad right here is fully adjustable. This has got a metal external frame to it. Very well built. All right, we'll look at the cummerbund, or excuse me, the fanny pack. Let me turn this thing around. So on this side right here, I use this as an addendum pouch, but this has all of my additional clothing. I've got my survival clothing in here, my tiger stripe fatigues, as well as a shemagh. That's what I have in here: the shirt, the jacket, and then a shemagh. If I get wet, remember, hypothermia is a deal breaker. If I get wet, I want to be able to dry off real quick, and that's why I have that shemagh in there. That's going to help me dry off. So if I happen to slip and fall and get into the water, I mean, we get cold here, and we're moving into fall. So that's the reason why I have put that specific kit right there. The reason I like it on the outside and not have to break open the bag is because if it's raining, I don't want to have to worry about compromising the inside of my backpack just to get to some dry clothes. So if I can hide under a log, I can literally change on laying down on the ground and pull this stuff out and get to it very quickly. And you've got to create a mnemonic when you're doing your bag. Everything has to make sense to you. And some of these backpacks are so complicated. It's just like my messenger bag from 511, that Lima. I loved it when I first bought it, but it was so complicated. I was forgetting where I was putting all my stuff, and I hate that. All right, on the side, I've got my walking stick, which also, sorry guys, we're gonna have to do a lot of camera adjusting. I will edit. But this is also a shooting stick. So not only is it a fully adjustable telescoping spring-loaded hiking stick, but it's also a shooting stick. And that is something that I can throw over to Mountain Dew, and that'll give her a nice bench rest if she's shooting her 300 blackout, and that's what she's carrying. This is my large axe. I'm not bringing the little one, I'm bringing the big one. Yep, that's probably 5 pounds, maybe 4 pounds. And I do have it in a sheath, so I'm not going to compromise the mesh pocket right there. But this right here is what's going to sustain me. This is going to help me build my permanent shelter. It's going to help me procure firewood. It's going to allow me to build my cistern. Everything that I need to create, craft, construct, and make permanent lifestyle with, this is going to work. I really encourage you to think about adding a big axe to, not a hatchet, not a tomahawk, but a real axe to your inch system. All right? On this side, on the front, are we focused? Good. On this side right here on the front, I have my shelter system. Remember, if it's raining, you have to be able to set up shelter quickly. And yes, this bag does come with a rain fly. But on the front right here, this front pouch, I have my complete shelter system. Right here. This is the Eno Housefly. This is a ripstop nylon tarp made by Eno. There's 2 kinds. There's one called the Rainfly, and then there's this one right here called the Housefly. The Housefly has triangular doors just like a pup tent. This looks just like a pup tent. I'll throw a slide up. And you can close this thing off. This kit comes in, even with the, it's got all the cordage. This is all shock cord. It stretches. And then all I got to do is get to my paracord, which I've already got carabiners on. I recommend one section of 100 foot and then 8 or 9 sections, depending on how many tie-offs you need. in 10-foot sections. So that's what this is. And I've already got the carabiners on it. It's right here, right in the front. I can get to this super quick. Now, if you guys don't want to go with the Eno Housefly, I don't remember what this costs, 170 bucks maybe. And it also works if you like to use a hammock. But I would set this low on the ground, and then I would take pine boughs and I would create an insulating floor. And Mountain Dew and I can both comfortably get inside of that thing and put our bags at each end. And that'll give us a little bit of protection from the wind, insulating, right? There's got to be an insulating factor. And then at that point, what I would do is I would continue to build my pup tent type shelter, because that's already going to provide me with the waterproofing that I need. So that would be on the inside. And then I would get me a lodge pole and make me a ridge beam. And then I would build me an A-frame, a double A-frame structure. And I would just lace that thing up with small trees, small limbs. And then I would continue to weave vegetation, and particularly spruce boughs. And I would create more of a more insulating and a more protective shelter over my waterproofing. Make sense? And besides that, it's going to provide, I'm not going to say it's going to break up my silhouette, because it is asymmetrical. Y'all know that there's no such thing as a 90-degree angle in nature. There's no such thing as a 90-degree angle in nature. So if you're going to build 90-degree angle structures as your super shelter, then you've got to be able to break up that silhouette with random twigs and branches. All right? I got to try to stay focused on the bag, guys, because I want to talk about everything, and I can't do that. But if you want an alternative, I would recommend the AquaQuest Defender tarp. It's a little cheaper, about $110 for the 10x10 one, and it's decent quality. It's got a lot of tie-off and anchor points for your guy wires, but it's a little heavier. I want to say that bag, or that tarp, comes in at about 3 pounds. So I chose the Housefly because it was only 2 pounds. Yeah, it was more money, but I was okay with the trade-off there. But both of those would be a strong recommendation for providing a moisture or thermal barrier protection from the elements. Shelter is heavy, guys. It's super heavy. All right, there we go. We're covered right here on the front. All right, let's open up the bottom real quick, because that'll allow me to kind of get into the bag a little bit more in this presentation. The bottom is my sleeping system itself. This is where the weight is, right here. I got my fire kit right here in the duffel portion of the bag, and then I have my sleep system right here. This is where all the weight is. So my lower body, my hips, my legs, my foundation is what's supporting this weight right here. I want to say there's probably 8 or 9 pounds right here. And they've got the anti cord right here to prevent it from getting caught. Your zipper's not going to get caught. I hate that. You can rip and pull on these without having to worry about getting the zipper stuck. All right, right here is my Thermarest Neo Air inflatable mattress pad. Very light, kind of pricey. I've used these for years and years and years, and they're getting a lot better. The quality's getting better with these. They are. I would have no problem using just a regular foam pad or the military pad, you know, neoprene, something like that, or even an exercise pad that you get out when, you know, those yoga pads you buy at Walmart. But if you got the money and you want to have an air mattress, there it is right there. Here's my little lightweight pillow. I'm not curling up next to my dirty underwear. All right. Weighs absolutely nothing. Kind of expensive, and eventually this is made by Summit, Sea2 Summit air pillow. A lot of different manufacturers. I think Mountain Dew has one too, and hers is I forget what name it is. Very lightweight pillow. Got to keep that neck right. And then these are hike and bike. I got these in camouflage. They come in regular, small, and extra large. There is a price difference between the bags. But this is the hike and bike, 0 degrees to 17, or actually 0 degrees Fahrenheit, minus 17 Celsius. And this is the Katadyn, hike and bike. And this, they come in all colors. This one is the camo one. I'm going to tell you right now, guys, I've slept in minus degrees with these. They're wonderful. Very, very nice bag for the money. Very nice bag. Remember, your shelter is going to get warmer and warmer as you begin to establish the insulating factors, the thermal protection. You build your chimney and you start getting your little center fire made, and maybe it's a TP design, whatever. But this is gonna do a really good job. It sure is. As far as waterproofing that and as far as protecting that bag, this is where you're going to spend your money. You're going to go buy the Gore-Tex liner that comes with the military modular sleep system. I have 2 of those sleep systems, and I do not recommend them for bugging out. They're great for camping out in the backyard with your kids, but who wants to carry a 14-pound sleep system around with them? I don't. But the Gore-Tex liner, outer liner, is worth its weight in gold. Those sleep systems, I want to say they run about $600. They're super expensive. I paid $300 for mine 15 years ago. I mean, this is all we used when we were kids. My dad had access to all that stuff, and they weren't that expensive back then. They were everywhere. But if you can get your hands on an MMS system, a lot of times you can get them on eBay, and they're a good price. Maybe the bags are damaged, the black one or the green one. There's a 3-season and a 4-season bag. Maybe the bags are damaged, but the Gore-Tex is not. That Gore-Tex bag was really what you want. So I ended up buying an extra Gore-Tex liner on eBay for Mountain Dew sleep system. And not only is that going to provide us with an extra layer of thermal protection, but it's also going to keep our bag dry. So I don't have to worry about hanging my bag up every day with some sort of clothes dryer when you get out, because if your bag starts getting wet and all that, you got to dry the thing out. But zip it up, put it in that Gore-Tex liner, and your bag's going to stay warm, dry, protected. You ain't going to have any creepy crawlers getting in it, that kind of thing. So that's the inside of the sleep system. Right here is my Berkey Black sports bottle. This has got the filter in it. I do have an extra filter. That's for drinking the dirty water. On the side, I have my bushcraft saw. Okay. This is the Silky Big Boy. And I also have the smaller one, the Pocket Boy, in the kit here too. And I like having this little card case on it because it's going to protect my bag from getting cut. I have extra blades. Mountain Dew's carrying the larger blade for the Big Boy. And then I think I have the Silky Pocket Boy in here. But I like the hard case. This is actually made by Big Boy because it allows you to put it on your belt as a dangler. I won't take it out, but there you go. That's that. Before we get into this pouch, let me show you this side. This side right here is this is not only a ham radio, but this is also a weather band radio. Okay? This is the only comms I'm bringing on my initial kit, is my sat phone. And the reason I'm more concerned about bringing this is because, yes, I will be able to talk to people using the repeaters. All right, I do have a ham radio network already established, but I'm more concerned about weather. All right, that I'm not really worried about calling mom. Okay, I'm not worried about calling mom. I'm more concerned about establishing my network in my community, and then going from this position to my recce maneuvers and scouting out and finding out what that danger point looks like. But more importantly, this is going to handle all of my weather concerns. All right, and I've got extra batteries in here. Inside here, I won't take these out, but these are the snake chaps. In the next month or so, I probably won't have to worry about that. But remember, in stealth camping, you're going off trail. And that's something that I don't think that we pay enough attention to in stealth camping. You're going to go off trail. You're going to go into the boonies. And the snake guards are going to protect you from all those critters and creepy crawlers, but also from just the thorns. And you don't want to shred your pants. So those snake guards work real good as a gaiter. And I also have waterproof gaiters that I can put over my shoes, but my boots are also waterproof. But I've got 2 pair of gaiters, and they work great. I use those for riding on my motorcycle. All right, so that's on that side. Right here in this compartment is sustainability. I'm bringing 2 knives with me, both of them made by Bark River. This is the Bark River Bravo 2. This is my main survival knife. I've talked about the difference between bushcraft and survival knife. This is the survival knife you want, right here. This will be the last knife you ever buy. Bark River Bravo 2. They do make a 3, and they also make a 1. I've got the 1 in LT, and I also have it in the regular thickness, the 1/4 inch thickness, but that has a 1/4 inch spine. This is a 7-inch blade, and this is going to help me with all of my wood processing chores. That's my camp knife. And then for processing game, this is the Gunny Hunter. And I have baton small stuff with this, so if I was just messing with some fat wood, maybe I want to make fat wood shavings or collecting birch bark. Small, fine task. This is a bushcraft knife. This is going to allow me to craft, whereas the survival knife is going to be a little bit more of a challenge. So I'm bringing 2 knives with me. Okay? These will go on my hip, guys. These will get attached to my hip. I won't put these in the bag. These will go on my hip. Now, as far as maintaining them, I do have a beaver hide strop, and it's made by Beavercraft. It's the same grain on both sides. Super fine. I want to say it's probably 2000 grit. And I have a little green compound. That's it. So that's going to maintain my blades temporarily. Remember, I got a support bag coming. I'm going to show you what's in that in another video. Here is my pocket boy, and this is what that extra blade is for. These are stainless steel blades, guys, so you can encapsulate them. You can close them up. They're not going to rust. All right. Why do I have 2 saws? Ask Dave Canterbury why you should have 2 things. Ask him. Ask him why you should have redundancy. He'll tell you. All right. Okay, so that covers everything on the front, the bottom. Now let's open up the fanny pack, the duffel. And this is where the rainfly is. It's right here. It's integrated into the bag. I have a camo one and the one that comes with it, which is kind of an FDE in white color. All right. Actually, you know what? Let's look at the inside. I like this because you can get to it from the top with the spin drifters here, or you can access it from the side or the front. All right, we've got the buckles released. We're going to open up the admin pouch. I'm going to bring you in closer, guys. You need to see this. This bag has 3 admin pouches. Looks good. 3 admin pouches right here. This is basic hygiene. All right. Toothpaste, toothbrush. I got 2 toothbrushes and 2 tubes of toothpaste. Yep, eventually this is going to run out, and guess what I'm going to use? Guess what I'm going to use in the wild? Charcoal. That's right, charcoal. These are my reading glasses. I have 4 or 5 pair, but I'm old, man. I got to have my readers. And then here's just a basic hygiene kit, real small. And don't say this out loud, but this is really more for Mountain Dew. You know what I mean? That movie, The Book of Eli, remember where they had the little bottle of shampoo and how cool that was? This is going to be, eventually Mountain Dew is going to want a day at the spa. And so this is my spa kit. I'm going to say, Mountain Dew, let's celebrate 90 days of survival in the woods. I look like Dookie. I got a big old nasty beard, but come on, let me give you a spa treatment. Come on over here, and I'll give her the full treatment, right? body lotion, shampoo, conditioner, mouthwash, and real expensive soap that I got from a hotel room. And then an emergency tube of toothpaste for her. So that's going to be my spa kit for Mountain Dew. And I know she's going, I mean, really, this is about solace too. It really is. And speaking of solace, this is what this pouch is. I have very little of solace, guys, very little. And it's kind of dual purpose as well. Got a set of playing cards. I got my iPod. Is music really that important to you, Survivalust? Really? Is it? Is music really that important? No. You know what's really important is all my documents that I've saved, all the pictures that I've taken. You know what else is really important? I've got the Word of God on here. That's right. And it doesn't require internet. I've downloaded the King James Version Bible onto this iPod. Yeah, I'm going to be sitting around reading my Bible. That's what I'm going to be doing. So this is solace, as well as my identity backup. And yeah, I've got music on it, and every once in a while, I'll listen to my playlist. This is a beauty kit, hygiene, comb, nail clippers. I think this is what you use to pin the apron on when you get a haircut. And then 2 types of hair cutting shears. Right? A little basic manicure kit for taking care of the beautification. Alright, that's the admin pouch, guys. I like it, the mesh pockets, everything's super cool there. Alright, how we doing over here? Let's move you. Come on. We're moving. Everybody get up, we're moving. Alright, let's go into the front pouch here. Mesh pocket, or mesh cover. This is where my weight is in the 6 keys. This is my survival clothing. Look at all that. That's all clothing. Most of my kit is clothing, guys. It is. This is 2 sets of base layer, 6 pairs of wool socks, and a pair of underwear. And then this bag right here. I can use this bag for whatever I needed to. Alright? Survival clothing, base layer. Here is my cook pot. This is the Bush pot from Dave Canterbury's website. Mountain Dew will be carrying, I think it's a Totes titanium one. Ridiculously expensive, but it's a lot lighter, so I'm letting her carry it. This is the Pathfinder cook pot. And then I got my Kabush. This is a tripod suspension system that allows you to hang a pot over a teepee or tripod type fire, and that stays in the cook pot. Alright, so this is going to be used for boiling my water, and when I catch all them ground squirrels and rabbits, those silly rabbits, they're going in the pot. More clothing, guys. These are my gloves. I've already featured these. These are all my gloves. On the front, on the top of my bag, which I should have went in from the front, but I'll show you. This is an emergency rainwear right here. I got a wool hat, my tiger stripe boonie hat, a pair of waterproof Tac Ops gloves that are tactical, and then here is my Woobie poncho liner. All in one kit. I can pull it out real quick if it starts pouring down raining, and I'm golden. Warm and dry. That's right. Once I get to camp and I don't want to walk around in a poncho, because I hate a poncho for that reason, you can't use your hands real good, I will change into my Gore-Tex rain suit made by Carhartt. Pretty heavy. That's a pretty heavy piece of kit right there. Yes, indeed, it's going in my inch bag. I am not leaving. This kit right here is 15 years old. It's still perfect. It's absolute perfect shape. And it ain't like I just put this away in some storage bin. I use this every single year. Every year I use this. On my day hikes, I use it hunting. One of my favorite rain suits. Worth $300. You better believe it is. Alright, here is my fire kit. I have done a video on the fire kit. I will throw a card up for this. This is a very heavy kit, guys. This is permanent, man. And I do have it in a liter watertight bag, 10-liter bag. Liter no longer makes the 10-liter, but there's a lot of companies that do. All right, so there is my fire kit right there. Super important. Collecting water is going to be a chore. So are you going to run down to the creek in this or your Nalgene bottle? No, you're not. You're going to go buy one of these. I don't want to open this up, guys, but this is also made by Rothco. You remember me talking about the Rothco large adventure bag transport? This is also made by Rothco. This is a canvas water bucket. This is the large, 13 by 11. And it cost me $14.95. I bought this at my prepping store. I'll try to find a link on their website for this, but this will allow me to carry my daily water with a grab handle. And it just it collapses, and it is waterproof, and it just slides under my bag. All right, now as far as getting to camp and setting up my basic camp, I've got a little bit of food, just a little bit. Mountain Dew and I have eaten out of these together. One meal does us both fine. So I like this because if it is raining and we can't get a fire going on day one, then this will at least give us some calories, and we can use the heating system that comes with the MRE. Yes, it's heavy. It's very heavy, but it'll soon be gone that first day. Yeah, we're going to spoil ourselves psychologically. We're going to need to replace those calories that we burned. We're going to need to replace those calories that we burned on that initial climb. That 6-hour hike, I've got to replace those calories. Once I get to camp, I'm fine. Then I can set up my sustainment system, and then I can begin on my foraging bag. All right? I got 4 packs of ramen in here. And what I like about this little bag right here is that it's a possibles pouch, and once the ramen's gone, it's gone. But now I have an additional pouch that I can use for supplemental support. So there's lunch, there's dinner, day one. That's it. That's all the food we're going to be bringing for our initial bug out. And then, like I said, we'll follow back, and then we'll bring in our support system. All right, the last thing I want to show you, and I'm just going to detach it, is the fanny pack. Okay, Molly. And then I have internal knee pads in my 511s, and then those other pants that I have, some off-brand, Chinese made, but super nice. I will be wearing internal knee pads when I'm at camp, and this is where they go. They go right in here. They're in my sniper suit right now. I know where they're at, and I will eventually put them back in here, but I'm getting ready to do the sniper suit video, so I've got them in there for a reason. Temporary TP, that's it. This is just, we're going up the hill, and we got to take care of a little bit of duty business. It's just temporary TP, just enough for getting to where we're going. And then after that, hygiene will be all in the duty kit. This is my hygiene duty kit. I've showed you what that looks like. It's basically just wash towels and bandanas. Very lightweight, very compact, and its own hypoallergenic system. It's completely secured in there. All right. This zipper right here, I've got some protein on the go. 3 bars. All right, I got 3 bars. Mountain Dew's hungry. She's like Patrick on SpongeBob. She's gonna be complaining, so I gotta give her some cookies and cream. That'll keep her happy, right? I got some utensils. This is a titanium sport, really long. I like it because it was good for getting in the Mountain House bags. I got another combo one here. I don't know who makes this. I bought it at a survival store. I like it because it's got the little carabiner on it, and that's also a can opener, I believe. I believe that works as a can opener. Don't hold me to that, but it sure looks like it. Kershaw makes this. I see it. Right? I don't know how much stock I'm going to put in that carabiner, because guess what? It just fell off. So forget the carabiner. This right here is my water filtration bag. Bought this off of the Pathfinder School too. This is going to allow me to collect water that's not sediment. It doesn't have sediment in it and trash. So I'm going to filter all of my water in this bag. And this is canvas, and I can flip it out inside out and reuse it. I'll link this right here. Super cool thing to have. All right. I'm not going to be depending upon a lot of the mechanical type of water purifying systems. They don't last. This is what lasts right here. I got some pain relief for those scrapes, boo-boos, cuts, headaches, backaches. The first week is going to play havoc on your body. Don't forget about pain relief. That's probably way more than I'll ever need, but I'm bringing it. Skeeter net. More pain relief. More utensils. This is one of those collapsible utensil kits. And then I also have a can opener. Alright? Mostly utensils. Extra water filter for my Berkey. And then I have two extra strength 5-hour energy drinks. Remember, in survival, you've got to be worried about situational awareness. Sleep might not be a luxury that you can afford. Okay? 5-hour energy drink. Last pouch, guys. When we run out of food, we still have 30 days of vitamins and minerals right here. Doesn't weigh anything. I'm taking it. And yes, we have that in our support system too. Birch bark. Got some tinder. In fact, this was the birch bark that I collected on my last little adventure. And it's already dried out. I've already checked it. It works great now. But I've got it in a bag. This is an emergency fire kit. If I can't get to the bottom of my bag to get that big main fire kit out, this is the emergency one. Okay, I fall on the ice. I got to get those clothes off quick. I got to make a fire real quick, like super quick. So that's why I'm bringing the 9-hour long burn candle, some string, my lint log, and a Bic lighter, and that birch bark. This will get a fire going in a minute, in an absolute minute. And it's just an emergency thing, all right? So I like it because it's got a little wall or door between the two, and then there's another little zipper pouch in here. I don't have anything in there, but that would work for a mat pouch. And this also right here would work for a mat pouch. All right. Guys, that is my 57 to 60 pound loadout right there. Now that I've put some additional ammunition and water on it, I'm probably going to be closer to 60 pounds now. And this is what I ruck with. This is what I train with. All right, guys. Thanks for watching episode 3, the inch kit that will go the mile. Till next time, be safe.